The city at night always looks different. By day, it's a bustling anthill where everyone is rushing somewhere. But at night, it becomes a vast stage, lit by neon signs and the dim, yellow glow of streetlights. Alex had been driving a taxi for 5 years. For him, it had long ceased to be just a job or a temporary gig. It was his way of observing life without any filters. This story took place on a typical rainy Wednesday in late November. Autumn that year was particularly bleak. The roads were covered with a thin glaze of ice, and the windshield was constantly splattered with a mixture of wet snow and dirt. It was close to 2 in the morning. Alex was already planning to head home when his phone buzzed, offering a new ride. The pickup point was nearby, right at the entrance of the municipal hospital's surgical department. The destination was a residential area on the very outskirts of the city. Last one for tonight, Alex thought, pressing accept and turning his gray Skoda around. A woman was standing by the hospital gates. She looked to be about 45, wearing a light autumn coat that was clearly not warm enough for the weather. In her hands, she held a small plastic bag. She stood motionless, not even trying to shield herself from the cold wind, just staring at the approaching headlights. When she got into the back seat, the cabin was instantly filled with the smell of dampness and hospital antiseptic. "Hello," she said quietly. Her voice was flat and exhausted. "Good night," Alex replied, glancing in the rearview mirror. "Should I turn up the heater? You look wet." "Yes, please. Thank you." The car set off. For the first 10 minutes, they drove in complete silence. Alex made a point of not turning on the radio, sensing that his passenger was in no mood for upbeat music. In the mirror, he could see her pressing her forehead against the cold side window, watching the blurred streetlights drift by. Her hands, gripping the handles of the plastic bag, were trembling slightly. Taxi drivers often become accidental therapists. Over his years on the job, Alex had learned to read people's emotional states effortlessly. There were noisy groups who wanted to chat, business people glued to their phones, and then there were those who were experiencing a quiet catastrophe inside. This woman belonged to the third category. "Rough day?" Alex asked gently as they stopped at a red light. He didn't want to be intrusive, but the silence in the cabin had become too heavy. The woman startled, as if pulled from a deep trance. She shifted her gaze to the driver. "My son," she replied briefly, her voice cracking for a second. "He's 19. He was in a car crash this evening. His friend was driving and lost control on the icy road." Alex felt his stomach tighten. He had a teenage son of his own. "How is he?" he asked softly. "The surgery took 4 hours. They said he'll make it. His legs are badly damaged. There's a long rehabilitation ahead. Metal pins. But the main thing is, he's alive. The doctor came out half an hour ago and told me to go home and get some sleep. He said there's nothing more I can do tonight, and I'll need my strength." She fell silent, but this time the silence wasn't oppressive. It was a silence of relief. The woman had finally let go of the tension that had held her gripped in the hospital corridor for the last several hours. "You know," she suddenly spoke up again, tears welling in her eyes, tears she had held back for so long. "I was driving there thinking, dear God, please let me make it. Please let him be okay." And when I was in the first taxi on my way to the hospital, the driver spent the whole ride complaining about traffic, bad roads, the government. And I just sat there thinking, what absolute nonsense. All these traffic jams, scratched bumpers, lack of money. It's all so trivial compared to your child lying on an operating table. Alex nodded silently. He knew exactly what she meant. Working in a taxi brought him face to face with hundreds of human micro-tragedies and comedies every day, constantly forcing him to reevaluate his own life. They entered the residential district. Huge gray apartment blocks stared down at them with dark, hollow windows. Only here and there did a stray light flicker. The car navigated slowly through the maze of vehicles parked in the courtyard, making its way to the correct entrance. Alex pulled up next to an old 5-story building. The rain had almost stopped, turning into a miserable drizzle. "We're here," Alex said. The woman opened her purse and reached for her wallet. "How much do I owe you?" Alex looked at the taximeter, then at her exhausted face. The plastic bag she held bore a pharmacy logo. Inside were bandages and some medicine bought just in case. "Nothing," Alex said firmly. "The ride is paid for." The app glitched and charged your card automatically. It wasn't true. The order was booked as a cash ride, but Alex knew she